This is the project we're going to do today. I'm calling this one Global Warming. And this is a winter scene of a previous scene that I did with the same Scenic stamps. And so let's begin. Okay, I've got a piece of poster board here that I got from the Dollar Tree that's cut to 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to be stamping on the shiny side of the poster board. And I'll start with the rowboat. Okay, next I've made a mask just out of some Post-it note for the rowboat. And I will stamp the little bluff stamp next. Okay, and I've created a mask for the bluff. And the Post-it note wasn't quite big enough, so I'll just also use a piece of paper towel, and I will ink up the Tahitian Hut. And next I will stamp the bungalows in the background. And I'm going to use some Altenew ink to ink up the background. I'm going to use the Glacier Caves set of stamps, and I'm going to use my 3 lightest of this set, which is Arctic, Caribbean Sky, and Persian Blue. And I will use one of my ink blending makeup brushes, and I will start with Arctic. And I'll just use a paper towel to keep my fingerprints out of everything. Okay, next I'm going to just put some Post-it note tape along the horizon line. And then I'll start with Caribbean Sky. Okay, and now I will swap the horizon line. And I'm going to want to leave it a little lighter, so I'm going to have some overlap so I can have some white between it. And then I'll start on the water portion. Okay, and now I'll reapply the mask along the horizon line. And we'll use Persian Blue. Okay, and now I will swap down to the water. And once again, I'm going to bring it down about 1 millimeter or so that there is going to be some white left at the horizon line. Okay, and I'll come back to some Arctic to kind of soften that white line at the horizon on this side. Okay, and I want to add a little bit more of a blue undertint to the sand area, so I'm going to add some more Caribbean Sky. Okay, and then for the sand, I'm going to use the Altenew Coffee Break set, which is Sand Dunes, Rocky Shore, Mocha, and Espresso. And I will start with the lightest Sand Dunes. Okay, next I'll use some Rocky Shore. Okay, next with the Mocha, I'm going to start using my small round-headed brush to just start adding the Mocha into the shadow areas. And I'm going to use my long skinny brush, the smallest one, for the espresso. This is the very darkest, so this is only going to go in the very darkest of shadow areas. Okay, and I'm going to take a bit of the Persian blue and the long skinny brush, and I am just going to add some blue to the boat. Okay, and from the Altenew Green Valley set, I am going to use some Shadow Creek to stamp some grass into the scene. So I'll start with my small grass. And I will use a mask so that the grass can be coming up out of the cracks. Now I'll use some of the big grass. Okay, now I'll use some mountain pine to stamp some of this palm frond. Okay, I'm going to use some Dr. Martin's Bleed Proof White. I've put a tiny bit into another container and I've wet it with some water. And now I'm going to come in with a paintbrush and just kind of paint on some snow. Okay, now I want to get this a little bit thicker. Okay, now I'm going to give a chance for everything to dry, and then we'll see what other touch-ups we're going to want to do. And so we'll be back. Okay, and while I'm waiting, I'm going to restamp these stamps in the front with some Memento Tuxedo Black. And I think I'll do the same thing with the smaller stamps. Something else I want to do is just add some mist over to this area. So I'll pat it down and then I'll take my paper towel and just kind of dab it up. Okay, now I'll take my white gel pen and just put some highlights. Okay, and while I'm waiting for this to dry, I am going to sign and date it. Okay, the Bleed Proof White is not getting things quite as snowy as I'd like, so I'm going to try some Hero Arts Unicorn White pigment ink. and one of my Fantastics applicators that I've cut off to a wedge. And so I will just add some of this also to add a little bit more snow. Okay, I'm going to give the pigment ink I just added a chance to completely dry, and then I will spray it with an acrylic coating to protect it, and when I'm finished, we'll be back. Okay, and I think I'd like to add some active snow, so I'm going to take some titanium white. This is just some acrylic paint. Now I'm going to go out and spray this with some Krylon UV resistant clear acrylic coating. And since I have so much pigment ink on this, I'm going to do several very light layers. And when I'm finished, we'll be back. And here's the final result after it's been sprayed with the acrylic coating. And I'll lift it up so you can maybe get a little better view of some of it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.